Good morning. It's 3rd of July, and it's Saturday morning. And this installment of our weekly channel vlog is going to be about little garden disasters. Well, we have a fair amount of little mishaps this year, and as I discovered a couple of days another one, I just decided to catalogue them this year. It's interesting because we always compare what went really well and what didn't go very well, and I compare things to the last year. And I know that I used to the last year I harvested cucumbers and aubergines this time of in July, because I have pictures to prove it, and this year we are very much behind. So on the surface it all looks like it's marvelous and works really well, because we have first of our tomatoes ripening, and not only these ones, and these as well, and these, and the bush behind. We can't harvest them yet, but they're not far off, so that's a great thing. Now, so these two plants of the same kind, the same variety, have blossom rot. None of the other ones have blossom rot, thank goodness, and I shall cut off all affected fruit, and we keep watering them on daily basis. However, it's a little disaster. Out of the 18 plants I have here, 2 have blossom rot, and 2 are not tomatoes. Different kind of mishap is when you buy something and actually it isn't what it meant to be. Well, on this occasion I haven't bought it. It came as a free packet of seeds and supposed to be Principe Burgese tomato. However, as you can see, it isn't, and I've got 2 of those, and they just started setting these beautiful lanterns, and I've no idea what they are because I never grew them before. And well, I can't make up my mind yet if it is a bit of a disaster, or it is just a happy coincidence. But I hope that somebody might know and will let me know what I can expect. They're really rather pretty. No wonder I didn't know how to prune them. Another one of little disasters is the scorching to the seedlings and plants during the hot weather. We haven't lost loads or everything, but we lost quite a bit. Well, we almost lost Cosmos, and look how pitiful the zinnias look. Funnily, it didn't affect at all the well-established plants like these dahlias, but they did affect some of the cutting celery, and we lost those. And look how miserable this Cosmos is. The peas could look better. They struggle, and so are the beans with lack of water. Even the well-established celeriac has been affected by the high temperatures, and I'm sure it will recover with some watering and so on, but obviously it suffered. Another little mishap are these directly sown peas, and I can see that they've been already munched by something. But the worst thing was that they actually didn't germinate. So I've got completely almost empty bed, and I will need to decide what to do with it. I'll probably put under some later on in season lettuce. Nothing to worry about this little disaster. I've seen several posts on various groups. These are not diseases. These are just fruit scorched by the heat. And unfortunately, this beautiful harvest of raspberries is looking a little bit sad. However, we had a fantastic harvest of currants and gooseberries. Well, it isn't a major disaster, but the cucumbers are positively stunted. I mean, I have been harvesting them last year. All we have is these tiny little things on them. Let's hope we will have some harvest after all. And this, I know, is weather related because I have 3 different varieties and 3 different plants in 3 different places, and they all fare exactly the same. Another one of my cucumbers which is not looking happy, and who knows, well, it's more sort of progressing. I can see some ants having a good time here. I'm not going to be removing them to cope with it by itself. However, well, we shall see. Now we're coming up to the place which actually inspired me for my catalogue of disasters, as I was really looking forward to harvesting some of these lovely cabbages which I've been nursing so well for such a long time. And here we are. Let me just show you. Been eaten. Not the red cabbages, obviously whoever that is does not like, whoever it is does not like red cabbage. And I shall be removing the eaten heads, which is probably all of them, except the red cabbage, which is hearting out beautifully. To add to that, this is supposed to be my beetroot bed, and all the beetroot have been eaten. So, as we will be clearing this bed soon, I shall check if absolutely anything came of the beetroot. And these are just volunteer Nicola potatoes which are here. But I'm not going to give up. I have every intention this bed next year to become productive. We're going to be putting new polytunnel here instead of the one which is there in a corner. And from next year we will be growing strawberries completely off the ground in special bags with being held at least sort of 3 feet off the ground, so I can plant some lettuce underneath. And this is going to become something else, because I couldn't cope with weeding this constantly with all these wonderful things popping up here, and with even though there is a fabric underneath, and with the birds taking all the harvest. So that is going to be addressed. That little disaster is definitely going to be rectified. Although we lost quite lots of courgettes this year, I haven't got a single yellow one, and the first courgettes on this plant have been affected by that kind of uneven growth, and I'll be picking them tomorrow to dispose of. There is fresh of new growth which is looking perfectly fine. So this bed, although it looked like might be a disaster, after we fenced it off, is actually progressing really well with some lovely fruit setting on some of these squashes, and the Turkish turbans setting fruit, and also the early butternut squashes. And let's have a look what else we've got here, which looks particularly good. Is that a courgette? Yes, and I can see the first round one setting the fruit there. So we're not harvesting yet. Again, everything is incredibly late, but we will have some harvest. It's not entirely disaster. In the greenhouse, we have been fighting whitefly, and I have to say my washing the plants with soapy water, because I didn't have any neem oil, it helped to a certain degree, but it also kind of, I feel that it's stunted the growth of the aubergines a little. The Bonica F1 coped far better with that, and look at that lovely glossy fruit. These look a little bit dull, but I never grew them before, so that might be just how they are. And I have now purchased some more neem oil because I couldn't find the other one, and we'll be spraying today everything with the neem oil. The whitefly does not, well, it does actually did affect these, but not all of the, funnily, not all of the peppers and chilies. I don't know what to do about that, because there's a lovely ladybird doing some work here, so I might have to remove her before I start spraying. But otherwise, I think it's worth doing it because they're not entirely happy, and I was hoping to get more than this from the aubergines. As a success story, look, first melon Emir is just starting to grow. We get actually quite loads of the female beets here, and some of them do swell. I think these have a chance, but this one is definitely on its way, so fingers crossed. There is one which is by a potential, and obviously we're starting having jalapenos quite nicely and other things, but I was hoping for some more progress on these, so we need to get to work on that. Common complaint this year was among allotmenteers that lots of the beans are flowering, but not actually setting the fruit. And here is an example. We had all these flowered, but actually the fruit has not been set. And I have a feeling I'm putting this as an example of lack of moisture, and beans can draw the moisture quite deep, but obviously I'm hoping a little bit more hope for these runner beans, which again the flowers are looking quite stunted, So let's see if we have more luck with them. However, with these, the French beans this year were not exactly as I would like them to be. And, if the dwarf ones won't deliver, we will not have very much French beans this year. Well, something I would like to address, because obviously I love them. We still have some seedlings to put in beds, just in case they survived, and they have. So I might be putting them, the better one, I might be putting them tomorrow. So that's it from us this weekend. I listed the issues and the areas which we need to improve next year, which is maybe where we plant the garlic and onions, and then we need to move certain beds inside the area which is better protected from pheasants and from rabbits and from mice and rats. Something to think of. The biggest, I think, issue we have is to make sure that we have a water supply. Although we really have our heart set, and every structure we have now, temporary or otherwise, will have we will be collecting water over the winter period. However, we will also have the water here supply connected, because just in case we're running out or one of us is not feeling well, and we really want to make sure that nothing, all that hard work doesn't go to nothing just because of an ability to water and having some soak hoses buried in the soil and so on. So we need to look at that very seriously for next year, as well as where we plant everything, because even with lots of lovely water and a careful management of it, we still have to safeguard what we plant against the wildlife which we don't want to hurt. So that's on us, and I think we will sort of counteract this musing this week with something really positive next week. And goodbye from me and Nigel, and hope to see you next week. Bye for now.